2025. Today is Throwback Thursday. Now, I know some of y'all youngsters call it Callback Thursday, but to me, it's Throwback Thursday. And this will be the last time I'm going to tell this story here. Now, I want to take y'all back to 1997. Yes, 1997 was the best year for me. And I'll tell you why. Because, what's up, Benjamin? And I'll tell you why. Because I was making some friends at school. Also, I was in a relationship with a girl at school. But before I get into 97, I want to take y'all back to 96. Okay. Now, in 96, this is September of 1996. And me and my sister, I'm doing good. How about yourself, Benjamin? So, me and my sister, we moved to this nice suburban home. My mom bought this nice suburban home. It's kind of like a three-bedroom home, but it has a little extra room, has extra 2 rooms, so say the least. So we moved to this nice suburban home in 96 on September 2nd. And just 5 days after we moved in, Tupac was shot in Las Vegas. Tupac was shot in Las Vegas. Oh, jeez. And then, just 6 days later, my aunt's birthday is on September 14th. Tupac died on September 13th. He was 25 years old. That is crazy. And then, just 3 months later, after Tupac was killed in Las Vegas, the holidays, Christmas. Now my mom, she worked overtime just to save up some money so me and my sister could get something for Christmas. And the thing is that now, and I got this, on Christmas Day, I got this new boombox radio. The speakers, you can split the speakers apart. I got a mountain bike for Christmas in 96. Crazy. It was crazy. And I go to my family members, me and my mom and my sister, we go to our family members' house every holiday in 96. We go to Brooklyn. Big shout out to everybody in Brooklyn, by the way. We go to our uncle's house. Me and my sister go to our uncle's house in Brooklyn. And I got 2 uncles. Okay? So, yes, it was. And the speakers you can split. The speakers you can split apart and you put it back together. Okay? So then, one of my uncles gave us money for Christmas, gave me and my sister money for Christmas. I get $5 for Christmas. My sister gets $5 for Christmas. So that was good. That was it. And after we got back from Brooklyn, we go right back home. And then, January 1997, let me tell you. Now, you get an email from the school. But back in the late 90s, I get a letter from the school. And it says, I was a freshman. 96 was my freshman year in high school. I mean, seriously, 96 was my freshman year. But 97 is my sophomore year. So I got a letter from the school, and it says, you're a sophomore. I was like, okay, I'm moving up this quickly. I was like, okay. So I get up every morning around 6:45 in the morning, just 15 minutes before 7. And I eat some cereal every morning. Actually, I put on my clothes, eat some cereal every morning. And then I go right back upstairs to my room and I watch 2 shows. One is Saved by the Bell. I watch that every single day. And the other is California Dreams. Yes, I watch both of those shows. But I was watching Saved by the Bell at 7 in the morning, and then I watched 7:30, and I watched California Dreams at 7:30. And then 15 minutes later, I had to leave. I had to leave the house to go to school. So while I was walking to school. I was walking directly to school. It was cool. It was cold. Literally, it was so fucking cold right here in New York. I'm telling you, it's cold now, but back then it was just whoo. I used to watch Saved by the Bell all the time. Hey, you and me both. You and me both. So I was headed to school. I walk to the entranceway, walk down the hallway, or go up the stairs to the second floor. So I walk down the hallway, make a left turn, go up the stairs to the second floor, and I see some kids. I see my friends that I hung out in the hallway. Excuse me. That I see my friends hanging out in the hallway, and they were like, "Yo," he was like, "Hey, how's your Christmas?" I said, "It was good." You know what I'm saying? They were like, "Yo, what'd you get for Christmas this year?" I said, "Man, I got me a boombox radio. You know what I mean? I got a mountain bike. You know what I mean? Also, I got Boys to Men 2 album. Yes. My mom got me Nas. It was written in 96. My grandfather, God bless his soul, he gave me Boys to Men, the 2 album. Yo, if y'all didn't listen to Boys to Men 2 album, listen to it. It is really good. That album is so fucking crazy back then. So, then, 2 months, actually, we didn't get to 2 months yet. So, the teachers, they were like, "Hey, how's your holiday? Is everybody enjoying their holidays?" We all say, "Yeah, we all celebrate the holidays. We all celebrate 2 weeks off from school and everything." But it was unreal. And then fast forward to 2 months later, it was the saddest moment in hip hop. Saddest one. Now, in 1997, Los Angeles, California, on Sunday, March 9th, Biggie was shot in Los Angeles. He was shot in Los Angeles, California. It was unreal. First, Tupac was shot in Las Vegas. Then 6 months later, Biggie was hit. And it was all over the news. It was all over the news. MTV, BET, yo, if y'all watched BET and MTV back in the late 90s, you're in, oh my God, you're in for the wildest ride of your life. Straight up, man. Straight up, y'all. So, and then it was all over the news is that Biggie was shot. You know, Biggie was shot 4 times. Diddy, he was in the car. He got out of his car and go to Biggie's car and they drove directly to the hospital. And then, man, 24 years old, 24 years old, die of a gunshot and die, just literally gone. And then his second LP, Life After Death. Yo, let me tell y'all something. Y'all got Biggie's second album, Life After Death? Oh my God. That is without question one of the best fucking albums ever. I mean, that dude got some hits. My favorite from Life After Death was Kick in the Door. That was my favorite. Niggas Bleed. That was a good one. Player Hater, even though he was singing, he was singing at that record. But another with Lil' Kim, Miss You with 112, Sky's the Limit with 112, The first single, Hypnotize, was the first single. And, oh, everybody lose their goddamn mind. Everybody lose their goddamn mind when More Money, More Problems came on. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all. Yo. And my mom got the entire album. She gave me Tupac All Eyes on Me, which is a good album, by the way. I remember that shit to this day. And Life After Death. And then my mom's, when I play More Money, More Problems, my mom barged into my goddamn room like she's Pam in the hit TV show Martin. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that TV show Martin, where Pam barged into Martin's apartment and Biggie was on the couch? That was funny. That shit was absolutely hilarious. So, and then when I play More Money, More Problems, and I crank it up, I just crank it up just a little bit. My mom, like I said, my mom just barged into my goddamn room like she's Pam and Martin. That was hilarious. So, I was like, all right. I was like, okay. And then, Biggie's Life After Death was this. Number one. It was number one. I was like, yo. And then he said, we did it, Brooklyn, we did it. And that's exactly what he did. And then all of a sudden, we watched the funeral. We watched the hearse, and Biggie was in it. We watched the hearse driving by and everything. You know, yeah, the hearse was driving by, you know, Brooklyn and everything. They got police standing on each side of the streets, you know, and everything. Then all of a sudden, they play Hypnotize, and people losing their shit. People literally just lose their minds. People lose their minds when Hypnotize come on. And police was like all over the place. They arrested people. They're screaming Bed-Stuy and everything. Oh, I'm telling you. They was screaming Bed-Stuy. I'm not from Bed-Stuy. I'm from Brownsville. I'm from Brownsville Projects. You know what I mean? You gotta know what you came from the gutter. That's no. You came from there. It's a wrap. It is done for. So that being said, and so let me hold on for a second. And then just 2 weeks after Biggie was shot and killed in LA. The girl, you know, she said, this girl that, you know, she's been eyeballing me for the past she's been eyeballing me. Like I said, she's been eyeballing me for quite a while. Now, some of y'all probably wondering, eyeballing? What do you mean eyeballing? That means eyeballing means somebody's watching you. You know, they've been watching you this whole time. You know what I mean? That's what eyeballing means, okay? So, get it to your head, okay? So, like I said, so this girl, she said, she walked up to me and she said she had feelings for me. And I was like, oh, really? I said, really? I said, are you just saying that? Are you just saying that to make a fool of yourself or whatever the case may be? So, and she said, no, I'm serious. She said, no, I'm serious. I really have feelings for you. And I was like, let's see how this goes. And let me tell y'all, oh my God. Me and this girl, we started dating just 2 weeks after Biggie was killed in Los Angeles. Just 2 literally weeks. I was like, yo, this girl's a real deal. I mean, this girl, I gotta cuff her. You know what I mean? Back then, there was no such thing as cuffing. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this girl. And I'm going to say, that was my first interracial relationship. My first interracial relationships. Yes, I dated black girls before, but this is my first interracial relationship, and this girl was white, and this is a white girl. I ain't gonna lie. This is a God honest truth here. I'm sorry to say. And so, whatever whatever I'm not in school, she's there. Whatever she's not in school, I'm there. So so that day, so we start seeing each other for quite a while. So every time she walked past me in the hall, so this girl, she was my high school sweetheart, and when she walked past me in the hallway, she smiled at me and she called me love all the time. I mean, seriously, she calls me love all the time. No. And she calls me love all the time, and I start, damn it. Now I'm blushing. I mean, oh my God. I'm blushing right now. You can see my cheeks are turned red. You can see my cheeks are turning red because I'm blushing because every time she calls me that name, for real. Oh my God. So anyway, whew. Okay, let me be man up. You know what I mean? I gotta tell this story because this will be the last time I'm gonna say that. Last time I'm gonna tell this story. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward. So fast forward to so we start. So me and this girl, we start dating for quite a while, and the person that hooked me and this girl up, it was her friend. It was her friend that hooked us up. I'm telling you, it was one of her friends that hooked us up. I'm not lying on this one. I'm not lying. One of my high school sweetheart's best friend just hooked me and her up. That was it. And she's a big girl. You know what I'm saying? She's a real big girl. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and then, whoo. So then, fast forward. And then fast forward, there's this girl. So, and then fast forward to April. Oh my God. April. Let me tell you. Fast forward, we gotta take a test. What I mean test, and back then we got to take a test. Sheesh. So I took a test, and get this. I didn't study for the test. I didn't study. I didn't study for the test at all. Straight up, I didn't study. Now I know some of y'all in the chat, they'll be like, how do you didn't study then? What'd you do? I use this. I use my head. I study in my sleep. I mean, seriously, I study in my sleep. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching too many music videos and movies, comedy shows. I've been watching those, and that's how I got it. That's how I got it from here. The numbers, you name it. The history, you name it. And that is why I passed the test of flying colors. It's because, like I said, I didn't study. I study in my sleep. That's all it is. It is what it is. And so, and let me tell you this. So then I met this girl. And get this. She's from Dominican Republic. Big shout outs to everybody in Dominican Republic, which I'm going to be at the parade next summer. So I'm going to be there August 9th. Make sure you guys, I'll be live streaming on that day. So make sure you guys see me at the Dominican Republic Day Parade on Sunday, August 9th. I'm going to be there. So I met this girl in 97. And get this. She was 13. She was 13 years old. 13 years old. Oh my God. I was like 2 or 3 years older than her. Jeez Louise. Oh my God. So that being said, I was like, okay. So I met her. So I met this beautiful Dominican girl. You know what I'm saying? I met this beautiful Dominican girl at school. And I was talking about my past, Max. What's up, Liam? So that being said, and and then next thing you know, May hits, then June hits, and I was turning 16 years old. 16 years old in May in 1997. Oh my God, it was unreal. I was 16 years old, and get this, I have a curfew, a 10 o'clock curfew. Ain't that some bullshit? You know what I'm saying? I'm only 16 years old and I have a 10 o'clock fucking curfew. Give me a fucking break. So, so, and then now, and then I went home because I was the oldest. I went home first. My sister was coming home, right after school. She was hanging out with her friends right after school, and so, and also I get this permission slip. So, your parents have to sign the permission slip so you go on these trips. So you go on a field trip. So my mom signed it first, and my mom signed my permission slip first the next day. And I went to school, gave it to her, and then my sister doing the exact same thing. So right before the school was over, holy shit! Me, my sister, and the rest of the kids, we went to Jones Beach. Now, some of y'all probably don't know what Jones Beach is. Google it. Google Jones Beach. Google Jones Beach. I'm telling you, that's the best place for you to spend your entire summer there. Oh my God. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful houses, boats, you name it. Come on now. I'm being serious here. So, me, my sister, and the rest of the class, we went to this trip for one thing: fishing. Yes, we're going fishing. So we went on a fishing trip in Jones Beach. So we're on a fishing trip at Jones Beach. The school rented the boat. It's not a yacht like these rappers you see today. Get on the yacht and whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So then, so I went to this. I went to the. So me and the rest of the class, we went to Jones Beach. We went fishing. I mean, I never been fish since '92. Since 1992, I never been fish in 1992. Straight up. So that being said, I caught. I was on the left side. I was on the left side of the boat. My sister's on the right side of the boat. And they give you this bucket. They give you the bucket. If you caught big fish, you get a big fish, big one. They put it in the bucket. If you catch a small one, they toss it back. You have to toss it right back. Okay. I caught 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 big fish, and they put it right in the bucket. They put that right into my bucket. And my sister doing the exact same thing. She caught 3 big fish right afterwards. So, and, excuse me. So after we got back from the fishing trip, we had to clear our lockers. We had to clear our lockers. Straight up. We had to clear the lockers. I mean, I got my stuff, and everybody else got their stuff. So when that bell rings, everybody getting the fuck up out of there. Everybody getting the fuck up out of there. We got up out of there. Our first summer vacation, living in the summer in the suburbs. I'm telling you. So I got home. Like I said, I got home first because I'm the oldest. And I brought 3 fish home. And she's like, how's school? I said, my mom says, how's school? She's like, okay. So, and that being said, and she said, and then my mom, let me tell you something. My mom, she ended up chop off the head. She chopped off the head of 3 fish. She peeled the skin. She peeled the skin off the fish. That's it. You know what I'm saying? She peeled the skin off the fish. She cut it open. She seasoned it and she fried it. She fried 3 of my fish. You know what I'm saying? And she fried 3 of my fish. I ate 2 of my fish, and I saved 1 for later. My sister came home, and she brought 3 fish home as well. So I was like, okay. So then I ate the last fish. It was my fish. It was the last fish that I ate. And then fast forward. So, and then I was like, all right. And so then my mom, she took me, she said, my mom took me back to school. My mom took me back to school. I was like, whoa, Mom, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she said, you're going to get a job. I'm like, huh? I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. You want me to get a damn job? You want me to get a job? Real big ones. Real big fish. I call it the 3 ones. So then, and so the next day, actually a week later, my mom told me, get up. So I got up. And I brought my birth certificate and my social security card, my social security. My mom took me to school a week later. And let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all. I got my first summer job in 1997. 1997, like I said, I got me my first summer job in 1997. And when I did that, and after that, and then first day on the job, it was the first day on the job. I was a janitor at school. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. I worked 4 days as a janitor, but more importantly than that, I had to go to class on the Wednesday. So ain't that something? Ain't that something? But anyway, get up every morning, fix me some cereal, get dressed, and headed directly to work. I work in Valley Stream Memorial High School for the summer. And I was working with 2 people at the time. I was working 2 people at the time. I was working with this guy before Little Yachty got that little ridiculous haircut. I was working with this guy with the braids, and I got with the braids, the beans, that's what I was working with. And I was working with this woman. And let me tell you something. This woman got some knockers. When I mean knockers, I'm talking about she got some knockers on them. And let's not forget, I was 16 years old. And then when I got home and I just work, take my lunch break, and then I came home. Excuse me. So then, and my mom, she said, how's your first day of work? I said, it was okay. But then she asked me, when do I get paid? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what day I'm going to get paid. But then it makes it a little bit more interesting. So then, and the next day, I went to the guy that hooked me up with a job at the summer in 97. And I was like, when do I get paid? And he said, I'll get paid till Friday. So I was like, okay. Then I do the exact same thing. All I do was clean the locker room, clean the stickers from the locker rooms, clean the stickers from the lockers, and scrub. That's what I do. I scrub the stickers from the locker room, from the lockers, and scrubbing gum underneath the table. That was disgusting, by the way. And then one particular Friday, I got my first paycheck. It was $498. $498. That was my first pay. Unreal. So I was like, shit, I gotta do this more often. For real this time. So then came home with my check, and my mom, she said, you got paid today? I said, yeah. She said, how much you got paid? I said, $498. Yo, let me tell y'all something. It no hesitate. My mom and I doesn't hesitate. Me, my mom, and my sister, we went to the cash checking place. But there's a problem. I don't have my ID with me. I have my ID now, but the one I had was my student ID. And they didn't cash in my damn check. So basically, that's exactly what happened. So my mom used her ID to cash in my check, and that's it. And I still remember my mom told me, keep $100 to yourself. But we're going to spend that $398 though. I ain't going to lie. Straight up. So then, yo, myself, my sister, and my mom, we went to the mall. I bought some new clothes. I got some new kicks, which means sneakers, boots, and shoes. I got those. And, excuse me. And I kept $100 to myself. I spent the entire over $300 worth of stuff. And then I go back to work. And then I had to go back to work. I worked the entire summer. I mean, seriously, I worked for the entire summer from June all the way to August. You know what I'm saying? It was insane. And I get the same amount of money. $498. Unreal, y'all. It is crazy. So, my last paycheck was the same amount, $498. My last day was on August 12th. Either August 12th or August 13th. So, I work, get my lunch, went home, and I clock out, and I went home. So then, once again, I cash in my check. My check was cash. And then and then me and my sister and my mom, we spent the entire $398, but I kept $100 to myself. So after that, then it was the month of September. I'm telling you, September, now all the kids are going back to school. And I went up the stairs to the second floor. And then next thing you know, they were like, yo, excuse me. And then they were like, yo, man, how's your summer? I said, yeah, it was good, They were like, yo, what you do? I said, I got a job at the summer. And yo, they see my new clothes. They saw my new clothes. They saw my new kicks and everything. It was crazy. And then I see my girl. Then I see my high school sweetheart. She walked past me in the hallway and she said, hey, love. I said, oh, there I go again. Oh my God. I'm sorry, chat. I'm so sorry. I start blushing every time this girl, my high school sweetheart, called me love all the time. She literally changed my life. My high school sweetheart changed my life. Seriously, she changed my life. And that was it. And so, next thing you know, we start dating. Me and my high school sweetheart, we just start dating for 7 months. We started dating for 7 months, but then, all of a sudden, the Janet Jackson concert was coming to New York City, coming right here in New York City. she was promoting the Velvet Rope. She was promoting the Velvet Rope tour, and they had a contest. And first, she had a contest who's going to be her dancer at the show at Madison Square Garden. And I entered it, and I lost. So, and I told my mom, I said, Ma, I said, I said, Ma, can you do me a favor? Can you go to the garden and get the Janet Jackson concert tickets? Yo, after she got off work, she goes directly to the garden, and when she came home at 6 o'clock at night, and she said the tickets were sold out. I was so disappointed, yo. I was so mad. I was not only I was mad, I was heated. Cause I wanted to see Janet Jackson so bad. I want to see her in concert so damn bad. I wanted to go meet her, and I hope I should get. And I would just imagine she picked me out of all the niggas in the crowd, and I might get a kiss from her, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm just imagining things. I'm sorry, but anyway. And so she did a show on HBO. It's the Velvet Rope tour, right here in New York City. Now, some of y'all in the chat, they'll be like, you have one of those DVDs, you have one of those DVRs, you can record any show, you want to. But back in my day, we have a VCR. It's a VCR. You get a blank tape, you get a blank videotape, and I put it in, and I record like 4 hours of the show. And the tape stopped right afterwards. And that was it. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my story, and that was the last time. I did audition, Max, but I didn't get it. I didn't win. So, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the last time I'm going to tell this story. But I will be back on my live stream later on tonight at 10 p.m. What was the audition like? It wasn't. It was the audition is for who's going to be the dancer, who's going to be Janet's dancer. And it's going to be Janet's dancer in New York, right here in New York City. That was it. So, like I said, there you have it, folks. This is the last time I'm going to tell this story. But I will be back on my live stream later on tonight at 10 p.m. This is Sean, a.k.a. The Big Dog, a.k.a. and I'll see you later on tonight at 10 p.m. Peace.